And then I just have to say a quick word for two of us, our team at BMC, who have been so supportive and encouraging through all of this. Thank you. And I have to mention, just to recognize my sweet wife for her love and support and encouragement to give back. And my parents are sitting with me and through their teaching and example through the years. And today is the actual day of their 70th wedding anniversary. Oh, wow.
Great, thank you. Thank you all very much. 70 years, that's two more heroes we need to honor. Well, this annual Red Cross Heroes Breakfast is a celebration, as you just saw, of community service, whether it's heroic life-saving actions, military service to our country, or voluntarily working to meet the needs of the less fortunate. Lyle and Judy Hicks, the owners and operators of Jake's Diner here in Bend, have earned a reputation for their unselfish dedication to our community. Through their restaurant, they have developed and delivered many ongoing programs that support veterans organizations like the Band of Brothers of Central Oregon. They collect clothing for the needy through the Middle of Winter Drive. They help support the need of seniors through the Thanksgiving Meals for Seniors program, and they raise money for Habitat for Humanity through their Hold 'em for Habitat hosted every Monday night. Lyle and Judy have also provided meals and coffee when needed by the Red Cross in support of disaster response and to volunteers in medicine. Lyle and Judy feel that this community has given a great deal to them, so they want to give in return and encourage other local businesses to do the very same thing.
7 years ago, we moved in. We had to move our restaurant from its location in the south side of Bend. And the only location we could find was where we are now, which was considered the worst location in town by far. When we moved in there, we didn't know if we were going to make it or not. But one of the things that we decided at that time was that we needed to make a commitment to the city of Bend that if the community kept us alive, then by golly, we better be giving back to that community in whatever way, shape, or form that we can. My kitchen manager, he was just a prep cook for us when we first took over. I lost my kitchen manager, and I had looked on his resume and saw that he had a restaurant down in Calistoga, California. So he quickly evolved from the prep cook into kitchen manager, and one of the things that he did was a Thanksgiving meal for seniors. And so we just decided that we were going to take that on and continue what he'd done down in California up here. And what we found was that there was a huge need that we didn't even realize was there.
We know it's going to happen every year. We're ready for it every year. In fact, about a month or two beforehand, we start getting excited about it and, just making our plans and making sure that we've got everything we need, and just seeing the people be happy and have a place and feel like a big family. And I think that's probably the main thing, it's exciting to see them happy.
Bend Band of Brothers, which is probably the largest veterans group in the Pacific Northwest, started with 4 guys and a cup of coffee in Central Oregon. And a few years back, they showed up on our doorstep and they said, "Can we have a meeting here?" I said, "Certainly." And the next week they say, "Can we come back?" "Sure." At the end of the month, they said, "Can we make you our permanent home?" The Monday morning meetings, it got so big that we had to move them from our back room and move them into the front room of the restaurant, the main dining area. We turned that dining area over to them for 3 hours on Monday morning, every Monday morning. Don't get this wrong, but I don't feel like we're heroes. I feel we're a business that is trying to do what it should do. And that if every business in this town attempted to give back to the community that keeps them alive and looked for opportunities, can you imagine how much better this community would be?
Would you please join me in recognizing true community heroes Lyle and Judy Hicks? Yes. Awesome. True heroes. Why is it that heroes always say they're not heroes? You don't consider yourself a hero?
No, I believe we're doing what we're supposed to do. If I could give you a reason why, when I say I know that Judy falls right with me. I love a God who loves me, and the best way I can show my love for him is to care for others. And then secondly, I love this community that did keep us alive when we could have easily dropped off the charts. And thirdly, but of equal importance, is I love my veteran brothers.
Well, you are a hero. Like it or not, you're a hero. Our friends from State Farm are here to present you with your award.
Thank you. Lyle and Judy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance and the American Red Cross, we're honored to present you with the 2012 Red Cross Heroes Award. Thanks for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say one more thing.
Lyle wants the mic back.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that recently on the last Saturday, we laid to rest a true community hero from Bend named First Lieutenant Justin Wilkins. And I was proud to stand with my brothers with the flag line that went up to that service. But if you want to talk about heroes, there is a true hero.
Great. Thank you. Lyle and Judy Hicks, everybody. Wow. So far, amazing. Providing health and safety training is a key mission of your Red Cross. Local instructors, as you've heard, train over 5,000 people a year in our region alone. One of those who has received this training in first aid and CPR is Leo Gonzalez. He is the director of the Boys and Girls Club in Terrebonne. One afternoon last April, Leo was driving north on Highway 97 when he barely missed a head-on collision as another vehicle crossed over the center line in front of him. That car clipped the rear end of the car next to Leo. It went off the road and rolled several times. The roof of the vehicle was crushed. The driver was pinned behind the steering wheel and bleeding profusely. Leo pulled over, ran to the vehicle, administered first aid to the driver to keep her calm until the EMTs arrived. The passenger in that car was helped from the car by others. So without giving it a thought, Leo went into action based on his training like it was second nature. He did admit that after he left the scene, he was shaken up for the rest of the day. He learned later that the driver and her passenger would both be okay. We are proud of the way Leo put his Red Cross training into action.
On my way home on Highway 97, it was kind of rainy, or it was sprinkling a little bit that day, and next thing I know, I see basically a car veering off the road. First initial reaction is to go and help. I have been trained in first aid and CPR. There were two women in the vehicle, and the first thing, I went to the person who was mostly injured, and that was the driver. Found the first thing I can find just to cover her head and try to keep pressure on the head to stop the bleeding. I had asked, is there anybody you want me to call? By the time they take her to the hospital, I just thought she would need a family member to be there with her. And that was one of the main parts that I can remember very vividly, is the fact that she wanted me to call her mom. The mom actually ended up calling me back on the cell phone, and I had asked her if I can call her back or if she can call me back to let me know if they were okay. Through the Red Cross, I feel like I definitely handle a situation differently because of the skills that they taught and the training.
Would you please welcome Leo Gonzalez? Okay, Leo. There are those among us, and I won't name names, who in a situation like that would freeze and wait for somebody else to come in and act. What prompted you to immediately jump into action like that?
I think just being able to help somebody else, seeing a person in that condition, you just have to, I don't know, collect yourself and be able to help somebody in that situation. So that's what I did. First thing, somebody's hurt, so you have to help.
So, and your training just came back to you like that?
Definitely.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for what you do. And our friends from Les Schwab are here to present you with your award.
Mr. Gonzalez, on behalf of Les Schwab Tires and the American Red Cross, we are honored to present you with the 2012 Heroes Award. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Great. Sure.
I'd just like to thank the Red Cross and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Oregon for giving us the training of first aid and CPR. Without that, I don't think I would have been able to help as much as I did. So thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. You've heard it time and again that training saves lives. Bobby Bourne is a member of our community who has made a lifetime commitment to public service and volunteerism. Bobby recently retired after serving 12 years as the Emergency Services Director for our local chapter of the Red Cross. In this capacity, she was on call 24/7 to respond to house fires and natural disasters in our region that includes, as you heard earlier, Deschutes, Crook, Jefferson, Wheeler, Grant, and Harney counties, and the Warm Springs Reservation. Bobby coordinated the response efforts of more than 100 volunteers and was the primary local point of contact for law enforcement, fire, and EMT officials. In addition to responding to many local disasters over the years, Bobby has been deployed nationally many times, including to Washington, D.C. and to New York City after 9/11. And before joining Red Cross, she served 33 years as an emergency room nurse. Bobby says she looks upon her service to Red Cross as an honor. Well, we are honored today to recognize the lifetime work of this outstanding public servant.
To be a domestic responder for the American Red Cross, you have to be available to go out and serve for 3 weeks at a time. And I've been on over 30 national responses, from being on the National Air Team and going when an airliner went down, or to the 9/11 responses. I served at both the Pentagon and in New York. I was out on the first flights that left Portland, and we were really at the crash site. And I also had high clearance, so I went to the debris pile for that. Well, it was definitely part of my job. It's what I expected of myself, and not only as a staff of Red Cross, but also as a health services manager at the level I should be overseeing the work of the group. So I expected it of myself, but emotionally, when I got back, it really caught up with me, yes. I considered it an honor and a privilege to be able to do it, to be able to serve in the Red Cross, but also to be able to help people like that. When I go out, I really go out and represent Central Oregon, and I've not thought of it that way, and what a privilege that is. I'm serving as military liaison for our local chapter. So I sit on the Central Oregon Vet Council, and I work with National Guard and Central Oregon Vet Outreach as much as they'll have me.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Bobby Bourne. 33 years as an ER nurse. I'm sure you have some stories. 12 years with Red Cross. As a former employee of Red Cross, what does it mean to you to be called by Red Cross a hero?
I don't think it's right. I did what I did
with passion, and I was honored to be able to serve the Red Cross, but a hero? I don't think so. But what I really would like to say is that the work that I did was a volunteer before I became staff, and then during the time I was staff, there's no way we could have done the job we did without all the volunteers from your communities that take the time to train and give their time when their community needs them. And really, every one of them, I thank for helping us have a successful program, and yeah, I'd like to honor them. Anybody that's a Red Cross volunteer, please stand up. Come on. You make the difference. Thank you.
Well, you may think it's not right to call you a hero, but we're going to follow through on this. And our friends from Fred Meyer are here to give you your award.
Bobby, on behalf of Fred Meyer and the American Red Cross, we are honored to present you with the American Red Cross 2012 Heroes Award. Thank you for your lifetime of service.
Okay. And you've got some flowers, too. Officer Tyler Kirk of the Redmond Police Department is another fine example of health and safety heroes. Tyler has had an interest in police work from a very early age. In fact, at the age of 14, he joined the Oregon State Police Explorer program. In 2001, he attended the Central Oregon Reserve Police Academy as an explorer, and he joined the Redmond Police Department in 2008. Officer Kirk was on patrol 4 a.m. December 14th, 2011, when he noticed some smoke nearby. He also noticed that it did not smell like the smoke was coming from a fireplace. He eventually discovered a home with smoke billowing out of the garage. Officer Kirk pounded on the door and the windows and eventually roused a man who was sleeping inside. And when he learned that the house was on fire, the two men ran into the bedrooms to help the man's wife and their baby escape. The fire was quickly brought under control once the fire department arrived. By the way, there were no working smoke detectors in that house. Officer Tyler Kirk was awarded the Redmond Police Department's Life-Saving Award for his action that morning.
As I was patrolling, it was about 4 in the morning, and I just remember seeing a really thick cloud of smoke in the area. All of a sudden, I found a house that I just saw smoke billowing out of the garage. I started pounding on the door. Nobody would come to the door. I started pounding on windows. I saw lights on in the house, so I really felt deep down inside there was people in the house. And I was just so relieved when someone hollered. There was no working smoke detectors in the house, so basically if they wouldn't have gotten out, they could have probably died because of smoke inhalation. I went home at 6 that morning, and I woke up and it was all over the news. At the time that morning, I didn't really think of how much of an impact it was going to have on the community and all the people I work with. So I mean, just looking back at that aspect of it, it just was just a humbling experience for me, and just to be able to save that family. So.
Would you please help me welcome Officer Tyler Kirk to the stage? Well, I think by virtue of the fact that you're a police officer, you're a hero every day, but you've been labeled twice a hero, once by the department and now by the American Red Cross. How does that make you feel?
It's just an overwhelming feeling to know that you've been placed or labeled a hero. I don't feel like a hero, as a lot of people have said, but I was truly just doing my job, and I was able to just find that house. And just really that day brought back into perspective the reason I chose this career and the reason I enjoy putting this uniform on every day and going out and serving the community that I live and work in.
Well, we appreciate what you do. And our friends from Deschutes Brewery are here to give you your plaque.
On behalf of Deschutes Brewery and the American Red Cross, Officer Kirk, we are honored to present you with this Heroes Award. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks again.
I am so honored to be standing on this stage right now representing one of the oldest, strongest, and purest charitable organizations in the United States and the world. The goals of the American Red Cross never sway. We were here to help our citizens in times of disasters where there were no cars, only wagons. We were there when your great-great-great-grandparents needed help. We were there when, during World War I and II, in Korea and Vietnam, now in Iraq and Afghanistan, in times of peace and prosperity, in times of strife. We don't ask questions, we just say, "Send me." And we help because there's an army of volunteers worldwide who care and who get up 24/7 to help their neighbors in need. They will hop on a plane in a moment's notice like Bobby, or drive to a disaster in any corner of Oregon. In the dark, in the rain, disasters are never convenient, but our volunteers say, "Send me." In Oregon, there are 112 volunteers saying, "Send me," for every paid Red Cross staff. We are lean, we are effective, and we rely completely upon gifts from the public to keep this lean sending machine going. Our heroes today, at one point, said, "Send me." And your Red Cross tries to model their courage. Every week in Oregon, there are at least 11 disasters where a Red Cross disaster team needs to help a family that is out on the street. Sometimes it's a fire, other times it's a flood.